Well. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Uh, you are at the book bar, and you are with, I am your host this evening, Midnight Ace. But before we get started, please, if you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, make sure you like the post. Make sure you share with all of our other book buddies and tag them. Let them know that we are down here deep diving in The Promise of Forever with author Sheryl Lister. So, hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
y'all.
Miss Sheryl Lister.
Yes,
Thank
love.
you so much for coming back.
Girl,
Because,
you know
I
I'm
get,
always here for you. I'm always here for
but I do give you a hard time. I do
you.
give
You
you a
do.
hard time, but it's all in love. And let me tell you, this last book here, you did the damn thing on it. So before we jump right in, tell a little bit of the audience a little bit about you and who Sheryl Lister is.
I am a lover of romance. Can y'all tell? This is book 42. So,
Hey.
and even if I'm writing my women's fiction and everything else, there's still going to be an element of romance someplace in there because
Mm-hmm.
I love love, and I really, really love Black love. So that's what it is. So that's me. But used to play for a living as a pediatric occupational therapist, and now I get to shift over and have a second career that I love too, and do this writing thing. And when I'm not writing, y'all better come look for me because I'll be hanging out with the hubby, my real life hero, and
Mm-hmm.
in the kitchen, some of those recipes that y'all see in this
Oh,
series, in this book, doing that.
yeah.
So,
And we appreciate your recipes too. And I still have to
can't give
give
them all away. I can't give them all away. So let me just disclaimer.
the
Those
one.
that 7 Up cake, that 7 Up cake people was asking about. Yeah, no, y'all can't have that one. That's like a family recipe that cannot be shared. Sorry.
Well, that's okay. You can just make them for us. We'll come, just make them for us. We'll be all right. Don't nobody want to do all that work anyway, and then it probably still ain't gonna taste the same. Yeah, so you've given us quite a few recipes, and you even have me going out looking for the oils and stuff like that. So I have to get with you to get some of those oils because
Yeah,
the guys in the book,
they were having a great.
oh my
Don't let
gosh,
Antonio and
right.
man, you holding out on me. How you ain't talking about this? They're like down low and real quick. Poor little John. He ain't
Right. And yeah, because Gabriel and Antonio
Antonio are
they locked stock and barrel on that
yeah,
stuff. And
yeah,
poor John didn't know, he didn't know what was going
yeah. But he
on. All
can
right,
do
let me,
it. So
so I'm gonna have to get with you to try to find some of those oils
I'll
because
tell you where I can tell you exactly where to get them from.
yeah, because I think you might have put it in the did you he
I
said it
think
was
it's
a
probably in a
website.
table for two. In the acknowledgments, it might
Yeah,
be in there. I think it might be in the acknowledgments in the table for two.
right, because I think Antonio said to John he was gonna share the website. So I think it might even be in there.
No, not inside the book per se. It's not going to be
Okay.
in the book. I think I wrote it in the acknowledgement parts. I think
Mm-hmm.
of a table for two. I can't remember.
Okay.
I for some reason I thought I did do that,
Okay. Well, for
but
those of you all who,
I will find
yeah,
it.
yeah, but for those of you all are interested, I'm gonna share once I get it from her, I'm gonna share with you guys too, because if you read this book, I'm pretty sure you pumped to cook something. So I'm gonna say a few hellos this morning. Hey there. I mean this evening, Lord, don't want to go back to this morning. Yeah, Koana.
Sometimes, honey,
I'm over and done with that. Hey, Miss Myra. Oh, and I want to take a moment to congratulate Myra. Myra has a book, you guys, that is out there. And Myra, please put in the
congratulations, Myra.
comments of what the name of your book is and how they can grab it. So one of ours have crossed over from the reader to the writer side. So congratulations and big kudos to you for that. And just let us know how to get that book so that we can support you. And then you'll have to come back and tell us how you did all of that magic too.
Exactly.
Right. Hey there, Miss JB,
Hey,
my
Miss JB.
love. And then we got Miss Velva. Hello. Miss Tony
Hey,
Bonita. Hey,
Mama.
Mama Tony. And then we got your purple dress today. Uh And then we got Miss Angela. Hey, Miss Angela.
Look.
Um, let's see who else we got out here. Hey, we got the Shay baby out
What's up,
there.
Shay? That's my girl. Hey, sis.
So, okay, so let's kind of dive into this. So, oh, Sheryl, I'm going to say something publicly. I said it to you privately. I'm going to say it to you publicly. For those of you all who don't know, I can be a bit of a pushy reader. And sometimes when I really, these characters get me caught up, I'm always trying to find a way that they can write another story about it. And Miss Miss Sheryl catches the ramp all the time. So, but this time, y'all, I tried. But when I tell you Miss Sheryl Lister did the damn thing on this book, she closed this series out really nicely. I could not find no open door. And she owes me nothing with the ending of this book. So,
I hope this is recorded because we'll never hear it again. Listen,
right, that is true. Now, if you could do that more than once, honey, you bad now.
goals, man, goals, y'all.
Yeah, but now I do. There's a number of things here in this book. Now, y'all know how I go.
It is in the table for two. The
Oh,
oil.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. Now I go deep with books, so y'all just gonna have to bear with me. So I'm gonna bring up these covers of each one of these books here, y'all, and so y'all kind of understand where I'm going from with this question. So here we got The Perfect Pairing, which was the first book.
Second book.
This is the second book. Oh, yep, you're right. I hit the wrong button. Table for Two was the first book in the series, and then we have A Perfect Pairing. And you see these colors are vibrant, beautiful, blossoming here. And then we go here to A Promise of Forever. Now, we meet John and Terry in the first book. They carry on to the second book. And then, kind of something just ain't right, but you can't put your hands on it with them. So in writing these stories of second chance romance, most people do, why in this book did you choose to go with a couple that has a long-standing relationship as opposed to a new romance, like say for instance Dana and D'Angelo? So what was the purpose in doing that versus Dana?
You know what? I don't really know. I think it was more of me wanting to showcase that sometimes that marriages, even we stay in them, but sometimes things are not right and we got to work on them and fix them. And so I just wanted to show, I think with this one, because we have the new romance, we had the childhood sweethearts getting back together, but we don't talk about sometimes that we do have trouble in marriages and that they need to be worked on and fixed. And we have to re-choose. And what I say, choose every day to keep that same love that we've had at the beginning.
Yeah, and this one here was basically this couple's journey was a journey to reconnection, because it was never a point where you didn't know that they didn't love each other. Because when you first start off reading this, you're going to say, like, for me, when, John is a lawyer and he's working at the office, he's doing, long hours. And then, they have an assistant and, the assistant is there working late with them. So, does he get weak and, step over a line? But it was none of that. And so you just wondered, he really loved his wife, and it was almost like he was reaching for it, but he just couldn't grab the happiness that he wanted. But then, how it outside, noise always gets in the way, right? So it was sort of like a book I read, Open Spaces. You remember the book, right? Always those outside entities that come in and just kind of mess it up, get in your head and mess it up. And for John, it was his mother.
Right. Both
of his parents. Yeah. It was
really that were kind of interfering, and just him.
Yeah.
His things that he's carried. And that was the other part. It's like we carry all of these things from our early childhood days into our adult lives and into our relationships, into all of these spaces, and how do they affect them. So that was another piece
Yeah.
that I want to showcase. It's just like, you bring all that in, but all of those things that happen make you who you are, and you get to choose how you're going to continue to carry them or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kimberly, the name of the series is the name of the series is Firefly Lake, but it's not listed like that on
I think it is. It is.
is it okay? So if
It
you
is.
search on Amazon or wherever books are sold, you can either do, and I'll put up the books if you could get them by titles, or it's Firefly Lake series. So you can search it. I know you can search it like that on
I think you can.
Amazon.
I think you
Yeah.
can.
But yeah, so if you need any help, just reach out, tag me in there, and I can definitely get you the link for it if you're interested in reading the book. It's a great series. I don't steer anybody wrong when it comes to reading books. Hey there, Miss Tracy.
Hey, sis.
So okay, so now John and Terry. So we find out in this book that they have more than just, they have these separate entities in here. They have a whole
Yep.
boatload of baggage that they are carrying,
Yep.
and you know, losing the baby,
Don't be
and
telling all the secrets, boo.
no, that's right.
Stop spoiling. Don't be
I can't.
spoiling. You
But
spoiling.
but
I do
but
that.
but you brought a little bit of big town problems to a
Yes.
small town. And
Yes.
so historically, like when we read small towns, it's usually the people are coming from the big city and they come into a small town, and this is where they come to heal,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of felt like this is their decision to come here, was a small town, and then they got with the, with
Supper
Serenity.
Club sisters. The Supper
Yeah,
Club sisters. Yeah.
and for the longest time, John was the only guy,
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
right? And then then his brothers come in, they meet the guys,
Yeah.
and then they kind of take over, with him. But now when you were doing the supper club, how important was it for you, or what was your thought process when you wrote this? And it was you had to have it. The supper club is in all of the books. You had sisterhood
Mm-hmm.
through all of the book,
Mm-hmm.
and you even have the small town, but the small town ended up being a character on its own entity. And
Yes.
then you got your older, your more seasoned people like Mama Nora,
And
um,
Miss Della.
and yeah, Miss Della, and all of them. And every small town needs that, so
Yeah.
they help the ones heal when they don't know what to do with themselves,
Right.
right?
Community.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to do life by ourselves. And so I think that was an important element for me, is creating this community. And as you said, the small town in itself was a character, because if you read all three of the books, you already know that the small town, that whole everybody's in your business, everybody's trying to help you, as they say, it really is the thing that happens here. And even if they see something, they still going to embellish it to the nth degree and keep it moving, acting like you saw the truth, but you out here saying something completely different, making it brand new. So, but yeah, so I loved creating the community of
Mhm.
these characters. And like you said, we always saw the Supper Club sisters through all the books, and those ladies. But the one, Shay, back her up. I know she'd be like spilling all the beans. It's like, girl, we gotta talk off camera. Look,
Right. I know my shortcomings. That's why.
we'll talk afterwards. But no, and I had that, and you saw maybe in a little bit in A Perfect Pairing, where you saw a little bit of the guys together, just not a lot. You saw
Mm-hmm.
the beginnings of that relationship, but in this book here, I wanted the guy friendships to have a center stage, so to speak.
Oh my God.
Because we don't always get to see these male
Uh,
friendships, particularly black male friendships. You know,
right.
men that, yeah, that where they can have their own space to show their vulnerability, even though it's hard, it's difficult, and not be ridiculed.
Hmm.
We don't, society, men got to be tough, you got to be strong, you can't be weak, you know how we do.
Yeah.
So
And
I, particularly for us, so it was nice. I had a really good time with the guys this time. I really wanted to show that they're just as supportive as the ladies were. And
hmm
so
I think even more so too than the ladies,
yeah,
the men. And I don't know if it was just because it was men, but when I tell you they showed up for one another,
yeah,
they showed up for one another.
yeah.
But now, when you were writing this, but before you got to this story, did you, in your mind, did you know that these men were going to be? They were really center stage in this book. Okay.
I knew that I wanted to have, have them have their own little space, but I didn't know until I started got into this book. And those guys just said, we about to have friendship on our, we having Supper Club 2.0 over here. So,
Mm,
so it was just it, and they just and I just let it go. I just let it go because I don't know. I got it because I watched my husband with his two brothers, and then with a couple of his good friends, and how they are. And so it was just so cool to be able to explore that, because they have such a great relationship, and it's just really, I love seeing it. I say it all the time, but so I really wanted these guys to have the center stage, and then have that space to be comfortable enough to be vulnerable with each other, to voice your shortcomings, to
yeah.
know that is going to be taken serious. You're not going to be ridiculed, put down, or
Mm,
called a punk or whatever it is that we do, but you're going to have the support, and guys be like, nah, bro, whatever you need, we got you.
yeah.
We got
Yeah.
you. And they did, and that was, that they're pulling, and the support that they're pulling for this couple on both sides of the table here, the
Yeah.
ladies over here, they're scheming behind the wall too, because they know that they love each other. So
And then we'll take a minute to answer. Shay's had a question about who did your cover.
forever, the publisher did it.
Oh,
They
okay.
gave me they I think it's that they gave me 3 different options, and, like, the other 2 actually did have, like, the colors more of the blues and whatever.
Mm,
Then this third one, when I saw this third one, I was like, before I hit that reply button so fast when I saw this one, because it was like, this is exactly what it needs, what I
right.
wanted.
'Cause
And purple, y'all know purple is my color anyway. So you throw a purple on here, and of course my agent, when she saw, because she laughed when because she opened the email first and she saw it, she said, I'm fairly sure and certain that I can speak for Sheryl and say that she is going to pick the purple color. And I was like, and Sarah is absolutely correct, because I'm picking that purple color.
right. And I noticed, well, with the muted colors in here, I thought, okay, so was this you giving us a signal that we were about to deal with something deeper than what we were used to dealing with in the other two books?
Maybe so. And I think that's the feel of this one.
Hmm.
Wasn't as bright, and it's a sunset of sorts. So you think
Yeah.
about sunset. And so there is part of it. There was a sunset of a piece of what had happened. But
Hmm.
they also get the sunrise of the new beginning of this new promise of forever
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're going to have. So yeah, but it was this purple though. Initially,
Yeah, but
right
okay,
there,
well,
bam.
that's good to know. I do actually love the cover. It was, yeah, yeah, Tracy. We agreed. Those men, they
Yeah.
did the same thing. So my highlight of in this book were definitely the men this time,
Mhm,
and I
mhm.
noticed how D'Angelo came in and was just so seamless into the
Yeah,
group. And
yeah.
he wasn't a cooker like Dana, but he could do the drinks.
He said he could do a little something in the kitchen. She ain't gotta worry. So,
Hey, Renata. Hey, thanks for
Renata.
joining us. Hey, Kim.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Um, Now, is there any particular reason that you decided to tackle something so emotional with Terry and John?
Um, No, I don't know. The story just evolved in that way. And I got to tell you, initially that was not it.
Mm-hmm. I
It
remember.
was it was more of just his parents, the background, the growing up. And then when I started writing, it was like, whoa, y'all are saying way too much stuff here. We're going way too deep. This is not what we're doing, people. And
Mm,
they're like, yeah, we are, so and it just I think it just went organically for me, I think, this time around with this particular book, with that storyline, because and I know because that's a real thing that happens with
yeah.
couples, and sometimes it draws them closer, and then sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it pulls them apart. So and I really wanted to show them also putting in the work, that it wasn't a quick fix. It wasn't a couple of I love yous and I'm gonna do better and then we're good. You know, good evening, rom-com diva. No. So I wanted to showcase them falling in love again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
They did have his back, but I one of my favorite parts about that was how John was able to let go, to
know.
see his vulnerability
Mhm.
with that, and then also how receptive Terry was.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
yeah, it was almost like she was just waiting for, just all you had to do was just tell me. You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? Um,
Right. But then but it's hard to break through our
yeah.
childhood traumas. It's really, really, really hard to let go of those things, even though we think that we have let go.
Hmm.
In the deep, you think about it, in our subconscious, we have not let go, because it'll flare up at a moment's notice. When you think that you're getting ready to try to let it go, then something just pops in your head again. Men don't, you hear that voice again from your trauma. And so, and after you figure you got you he had what, 20 plus years of that to try to unload it, and you buried it so deep that you don't know how to get out of it.
Well, and I mean, even with his dad, reminded him of that, even
Mhm.
when he came to visit.
That's right.
So it was like it was almost like every time he came to the brink,
We
like you
go.
said, something else to remind him. But when his father said that, I mean, his father was so adamant and determined that he not do that.
That's
And
right.
yeah, and the mother was just wacky. I don't know where you guys get these whacked out mothers. I'm telling you,
She
they are the
like,
worst.
she's just meddling, because I actually know some folks who have meddling, mother-in-laws, that they're like, if I don't have to go to her house, I don't,
Right, right.
kind of
But,
people.
but I
I
was
like
saying to
that. My mother-in-law's wonderful. I have the best in-laws, so I'm not. Yeah, that's not mine. Not mine,
that's
y'all.
why it's not yours.
Not mine.
But
My in-laws are absolutely amazing.
but
Absolutely.
she I kept saying to myself, she had all of the advice, and I was like, lady, you ain't got the best relationship yourself, so how you trying to tell somebody?
That part. That part. And I think that was the irony of it as well, which, John, when he went on and said what he was
Right.
going to say.
Oh my gosh, I said I don't know where they get these mamas from, but I loved Mama Nora in
Listen, Mama Nora was not supposed to have that big of a role in this book. I'm going to just tell you.
she had a crucial role
She
though.
was only going to have like a little minute, a little moment. And the next thing I knew, she just took over and said, baby, I got this. Let me do it. In
Yeah.
her sweet little way.
Yeah, but she also, I think she was also too a big push for John
Mhm.
too,
She was.
because spiritually she was like saying, you just gotta let it go, you gotta do this, so
Uh-huh. Now,
yeah.
the first scene outside, the first little one, that was supposed to go kind of like that. But then
Okay.
the next couple were like, oh, she over here doing some extra. Okay, mama, no, I ain't say we were doing all that, boo. You
Look, but
just
it was working for us.
doing something.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah, the best ones I wish their son was.
look, let me hurry up and take that one down.
Let me put that. Girl's gonna say, "Girl, what you over there drinking? Put that down."
Uh, Oh no, honey, because I got mine, honey. every good
Listen,
romance book need a good
needs some good
read.
wine. I need
It
to get
needs a
me
good
some
read,
wine.
right?
I should have got me a glass since
Yeah,
it
right.
is happy hour here.
Well, one of the Merlot was the one that I chose for this book here.
Mhm.
Obviously because it's red, and then because we had to deal with some
Some
deep
stuff.
stuff in
So
here.
you need the deep.
But I'm not today. I'm not drinking Merlot, but I did have some Merlot, and I said, okay, this is be a perfect wine for that one. So if you want to know what the wine pair is for A Promise of Forever, it is a Merlot, any flavor that you like, but it's the best one for this particular story. Yeah. So yeah, she said, put the wine down. I'm not putting my wine down. In fact, as soon as I get done, look, when I get done with the business, honey, I'm gonna be doing me some little sippy, sippy, sip. Yeah. Me too,
Me too,
Tracy. I
Tracy. I
love
did too.
Mama
I love
Nora.
her. But I loved her in the second book. So, I loved her when because she's Antonia, as far as y'all haven't read it, she is the grandmother of my hero in book 2, The Perfect Parent. So she's
Hmm.
Antonio's grandmother. So yeah, Mama Nora, she really was the mama or the grandmama that he needed, that he didn't have. He needed that.
Yep. Yeah, she was right on time. So I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know if you planning on doing it or not, but it worked for
Yeah,
getting
I
through.
didn't plan on it, but then when she just started talking, it was like this is everything. This is everything that's needed in this space right here. So
Yeah. Now, do you think this story would have had? Do you think if you wrote this story in a big city setting that it would turned out the same way?
well, it's my story, so absolutely it would have turned out the same
I,
way. I think some of the I think it would have probably been a little harder
hmm.
in some ways because in big cities, if he'd have still been at that law firm in the big city,
Yeah.
you don't always get an opportunity to decide, in the position that he was in, to decide when your hours are over. And she's emergency room nurse. It's far more fast paced in
Yeah.
LA than it was in Firefly Lake. So I think it'll been much harder for them to take that time to connect, which is was starting to happen before they even moved,
Hmm.
because they got, you notice they had a whirlwind relationship, and they jumped right on back into their busy careers. So they took time, but not enough.
Right. And
Right.
then I think it magnified as to how wrong it was when they moved to a slower paced
Right.
city.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. Now, you already told us about the Mail Network. That's inspiration from your husband and his particular ones for that. And we know that you do sisterhood very well anyway. Um, but now the men cooking,
Yeah.
and so we're not going to get any more stories, but the men cooking for that now. Did you was that a struggle for you to have them, cooking and everything? So I noticed you only had them doing like little small things. We already knew Gabriel could cook because he
Antonio
was.
could cook too, because he cooked with Natasha in the book
Mm,
too. So he was the cook, and Natasha's like, you getting something basic. If you said chicken, you get fried a bay, versus you not getting no cream this and something over here, whatever. But Antonio was a cook too. So both those first two guys are great cooks.
mhm.
Whereas John, he learned to do some big stuff, because the meal he took on was not something that, that's not normally, you ain't trying to roll out with a steak the first time, because that's touch and go,
All
you
right.
know. So I think he stepped out of the box up in a big way for
Yeah.
the first meal that he was trying to cook for her.
I feel like as far as development with the characters, John was by far the one that had the biggest growth spurt, and
Hmm.
then of course Terry would be under him,
Hmm.
but John stole the story. I
Yeah.
mean, he stole the story. He stole my heart, and I was just all I could just say was John afterward. It was John.
Well, I think, with the the thing that kicked him into gear was the thought that he was about to lose this woman that he loved more than life.
Mhm.
And when you make that, when she the move that she made, was a wake up call that said, son, you might want to fix some things or else this
Right.
won't be it. You know,
And then I think too,
next year,
hey, Lashira, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Um, now, her moving, was that a hard decision for you to make, in that her just stepping away? So that was planned. Yeah, I
yeah.
think it did. Sometimes you do have to do that. You have to make drastic decisions in order for one, she to step away and then, regroup her mind. Is this what I really want? Right.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
with him, okay, she's gone. And so this tells them, like, can we live without each other?
Exactly.
But it didn't take long because he was just right on over there. It was what? It was about like 24
But
hours.
see, what happens is that he did not want her to leave because he remember
Yeah. Yeah.
there was a conversation that was about to be had, but she was, I'm out. You know, he like, well, wait a minute, I want to talk. We can talk. Like, nope, you want to talk? You said I'm next. You know,
Yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy, yep, he did.
Well,
But
because think about it. So he's getting up his courage to try to broach these conversations. And then at the same time, it's like they were both making decisions about their relationship.
mhm.
You know, because he realized after that first one, starting from page one,
From page
that
one.
reputation, that what he said at the table from day one, that was a mess up. He knew
Mm,
right then. And then when she made this next decision, and you think about it, it wasn't she made it once, but she paused it
mhm.
for, the crazy people, and then it was still like this, still it's still on just
Yeah,
for now,
yeah.
so it, because things still didn't change. And so I think a lot of times, sometimes we have to be drastic. You
Mhm.
tried all the non-drastic things, but then there comes a time where it's like you're going to just stay here and be miserable, or you're going to do something that's like, okay, we're going to have to change one thing. It has to be one way or the other,
Mhm.
and we need to
Yep,
find a way to get it done if you are
right.
serious.
You had a lot of things going on in this book, a lot of things. And so how difficult, for you, or not how difficult. Let me phrase that. What was the best part and the worst part about writing this book?
um Let's see. The worst part about writing it was me writing it the whole time I was in pain. How about that? That was the worst part, which is why it was so late and it came out so long, much farther past the other books, is because of my body was not cooperating. So that was the hardest part of doing it. The other part I think is harder is when you already have a married couple.
Mhm.
I mean, it's easier to do it in a novella because your short word count, you can put them back together and it's
Mm,
boom. But if you're talking a full on length romance, you got, what are you going to do with this couple that's already married? What's going to happen with them? So that was a little bit of a challenge. It's like, okay, they're already married. So because you write a romance, you're typically either starting from scratch, or or reconnecting or something else. But these people are not together.
mhm.
But these people are already together. So that was a little bit of a challenge. But after the decisions I made about what was going to happen to them, it wasn't a challenge anymore, because then it became a romance, a
Right, right.
beautiful romance. And and it's doing all the things that I think that maybe they shortchanged at the beginning.
Mhm.
And so that
Yeah.
was the thing. And I wanted the book to feel hopeful. I didn't want it to feel like there was this major back and forth with them, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then it all gets wrapped up at the very end.
Yeah.
Like it's a quick fix. Okay, you're back and forth. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. You know how we do that
Mhm.
back and forth. But but I didn't want that. I wanted readers to see them actually putting in the work,
Mhm.
to actually making it stronger, making it more grounded, and to see the progression of their stronger and better love story.
Yeah, and I think John and Terry's relationship and all its complexities was so real, and it made those characters and the story, it became real. So I could see that happening, and it was hopeful to see that a couple can go through this and then come out through this, and but they have to do the work. Nobody can just
Yeah,
pass. You got
right,
to do the
right.
work, right?
Right. And like you said, because intimacy was never one of their problems. So a lot of times I see that that can be used as a crutch of sorts in relationships where, well, but the intimacy part is good. So it's like, but that can't that's not enough to keep
Yeah,
it together. There
yeah.
has to be more. There has to be the respect. There has to be the communication. There has to be all of the other pieces in conjunction with that intimacy.
Yeah, and I think communication for them was key. And
Mhm.
and I always say that when I read the books, I know they have to have the meet and greet. You got to have the conflict and everything, but I'm always sitting back in my real world phase saying all you got to do is just tell them, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in this part, it was just really about communication. But it
Hmm.
was really more of communication. It was more of a mental thing too. It was a mental
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
It had to be some healing going on, and I mean, you really packed this book with a lot of stuff because even though you had Terry and John's situation, you brought in Terry. I mean, Dana and D'Angelo. You introduced us to a new character,
Hmm.
and then you even did a whole separate romance in this book with
Hmm.
that. And
Hmm.
so when you decided to do Dana's story, um,
Tell them again. Stop talking.
hmm,
Surprise, surprise. Mm-mm.
when you decide to do it, like what did you know you were going to do Dana? Did you know you were going to do, because you also did the
Stop,
sister?
you telling. You telling.
But I know, I'm just saying you with these
Yes,
characters.
I knew. I knew. I
Okay,
knew. I did know that I was going to do what I was going to do.
all right,
I did know.
okay. Oh,
Oh, thank you,
the
Rhonda.
real-
Hey,
okay. Hey,
Sharon.
Sharon. All right. So, how did you feel about the book after you finished writing it?
I was thinking I loved A Table for Two. I loved A Perfect Pairing. And then I got to this one and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really, really love this story. Usually you don't say what's your favorite out, I never can tell the favorite out of my series,
Hmm.
for this one. I think this one kind of edged it a little bit. And it
Yeah.
probably is because of the emotional arc.
Yeah.
Is that's probably why. Because I
I
got
think,
to do a whole lot of different things here.
yeah, it's the realism in here, it's the emotional, and it's the guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one was kind of
Yeah.
on
That was
low.
that was just the fun. The fun to me was the guys. That was so fun. The cooking lesson, I was laughing while I was typing that. Seriously.
But it was, for me, it was the cooking lessons, but it was the more of how they carried, you know.
How they're tagging teaming with him and just
Right.
like he was what she said, why your voice? Okay, Shay, I'm gonna have to call you anyway. I'm gonna have to call you anyway so you can help me get this voice, make my voice be louder, boo.
The books in the series. But
Voice
okay,
Sharon.
you're gonna love. Oh, yeah, yeah.
My
You guys, you gotta get this. So, how do you feel like so far? I know that you've had some feedback from other readers and people. How's the feedback, or how do you feel like the book has been received?
I think it's been received pretty well. I think that most people have mentioned, I think more like you said, the
Mhm.
emotional pieces to it, the emotional pack, but it didn't ever feel that it was still felt hopeful in the midst
Oh
of
yeah,
all of the stuff. And I think that was it, you know, that I think that's pretty much, so it's been pretty good. So I'm pretty excited.
yeah. Now, do you feel like with the because the Supper Club is sort of like an arc in all throughout the book, but what do you think is that the main? What do you think those ingredients of having the Supper Club in that? How do you think it contribute to the story?
The Supper Club? Well,
Yeah.
then remember they're saying
Mm,
good food, great friends, and a taste of passion.
mm.
That's what it was about.
Now,
So
do you think that for me, I feel like the Supper Club kind of carried the series a little bit.
it was supposed to. That was actually the whole thing of this series, the part of the series. So
Oh,
that was what it was. And so the whole premise was, when they wanted this series, was that that's what they wanted, was
okay.
a small town foodie romance that's centered around like friendship and food and, you know, kind of thing. So it's like, say less. Y'all know me. You got
Mm,
music, you got food, because what's in my book? Every book that I say that I'm not gonna put food in it, I'm not gonna put music in it. Has music in it, it has food in it. So y'all just know, for the rest of my career, you're gonna see music, you're gonna see food, and you're probably gonna see friendship and community too, in
mm.
some little fashion, you know.
Well,
Some
they did pick the right one for this particular series. They did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's
Mm,
not, they were looking for something like this, is what it was. They were looking for a, a small town, a black, you know, black small town romance series.
mm.
That's what they wanted. Yeah.
Now with the guys, the friends that Gabriel's friends.
Hmm.
Now, was there ever a point in the time where you thought you were going to have to pair them up with somebody, or
No,
so there was never
it was never. Yeah, they were never part of the thing when I thought about the series and actually putting them. Nope. Because with, you know, it's one enough with Gabriel moving there, but I figure, you know, you're not gonna have a whole section of guys decide to just roll from the ATL down to a small town, less than 2,000, you know, 2,000 people.
Now, now when you for this particular series though, now when you decided to write it, what category? Because I was having a hard time trying to put it in a category. So what category did it start off being? And which one did you actually choose? And did you actually choose them? Because I think you have it like small town fiction.
It's
Uh,
like small town romance. It's small
yeah,
town romance.
yeah. Was it difficult to pick this because it's kind of got contemporary,
Yeah, it's like a contemporary small town. It's contemporary small town foodie romance
uh,
with a side of friendship and sisterhood and brotherhood. I mean, it's just
because how does that process work though? When you write a series that have like a lot of different elements in it,
the
how
biggest. I think the biggest the choice would be, what is the main concept of the book? The main concept is a romance.
mhm.
Now, where it is when you get into the sub pieces of what it is, but it at its core is still romance.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to say, guys, if
No spin-off, girl. Sorry, Quana. That's it. This is the last one. If you read the book, you'll understand that what I mean. Yep, no, it won't be anymore.
well, we're gonna put the covers up there again for people to know. So this is the oh I keep hitting the same button. Um, so a table for two was first, and this was Gabriel and Serenity's story.
It's a not so friendly, get off on the wrong foot to lovers. More of
Yeah.
a little bit slower burn, because she ain't trying to talk to him either. He ain't trying to start nothing either. He's supposed to be there for the summer, and that's it. Yeah.
But their romance is funny and
Mhm.
and it does have some substance to it. And then we go over here to a perfect pairing where
Mhm.
we have second chance
Right.
love with Antonio and Natasha,
Right.
right? And this one here is got a little bit of a tug and pull and tug on this one right here. But again, it
High
is a
school
great,
sweetheart. Do you think your first love and
yeah,
then you're coming back? That's hard to overcome because you really mad. You're just really mad. So
right. Because he comes back
really mad.
and she is like, what is he doing here? And when is he leaving? Kind of,
Right. So they both are the same way. I knew I was gonna run into her, but not 5 minutes after I got here.
right,
So,
right.
that's why I
But
stay away.
by the end of the book, they
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
perfectly in love. And then of
Yes.
course we have the newest release, who is our characters here is Terry and John.
Mhm.
And this is a very good book. If there couldn't have been a better way to close out a series than the way she closed this one out. Even me, I could not find any open doors with this one here.
Yay.
So she did a great job. So if you guys are looking for a weekend um,
Binge the whole weekend.
binge read, yeah, I would just say all of the books are out right now. So just, take it. The weekend is coming up. I recommend getting this one here. You will not be disappointed. But yeah, so this is great. Now I have to ask you, you're done with this one.
Uh-huh.
Um, one question, well, multiple questions.
Of course.
Are there going to be any sightings of you any place else? Are you going to be visiting any place, doing any book signings or anything?
Well, currently, I guess for the rest of the year, I am supposed to go to Florida for the Black Book Bash in Tallahassee, Florida. I think that's October 3rd to the 5th. And then Steamy Lit, which is in Anaheim, um, end of October is October 31st and November 1st through November 1st.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
it for this year.
Okay. All
Mm,
right.
I think, yeah, that's it. That is it.
Not to the Midwest or anything, are you this year?
No, not going anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not going anywhere till next year.
Okay, now that you're done, we're going to give you an opportunity to catch your breath, get these
I
books.
can't even catch my breath. I am still writing right now.
Okay, so what are you working on now, if you can tell us?
I am actually working on another women's fiction that is super late, and I need to hurry up and get it done. Like really get it done. That
Okay.
part. Yeah, so get it done. It's another women's fiction, and no, it is not going to be related to No Reservations. Completely different cast of characters. Completely different cast of characters. And so just I'm gonna give y'all a FYI because everybody was so loved the fact that these women were so the sisterhood and appreciate the sisterhood and friendships that were in that book. So I'm gonna just give y'all like fair warning. You're not getting all that in this next one here. You'll get some of it, but not all of it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's and
No.
these women are sister-in-laws. So family. Y'all can just take that how you want to.
Now, how many books is that going to be?
Just one.
Just
It's
one?
women's fiction, and
Okay.
it's following some sister. It's a some sister-in-laws.
Okay. All right. Okay. What about the Sassy Sisters?
And as soon as I'm done and turn this book in, that's where we're going to finish this series. My goal. Okay, health. Okay, y'all just pray that nothing else goes awry with this
Mhm.
spine, and then I can actually get them done because that is my goal to have that done before Christmas. So y'all will have the rest of these two sassy sisters because I'm actually halfway, probably about a third of the way through Val's book.
Mhm.
So it's just that I had to stop it when I had my health stuff, which put me behind, and I had to, get on. You got to do the contract stuff first, so your stuff gets sidebar when you have the contract. So
Yeah, we totally understand that. And we appreciate you, number one, for sharing your craft with us and for pushing through because I understand
yeah,
what you're going through. So
you
but
see, so
we
you see it
appreciate.
from the beginning, so you already
Right,
know.
right, right. Yeah. So we are we do appreciate that. Let's see.
You know what? Ain't nobody. That's you. See, you know what? I'm
So
gonna call
let's
you call her as soon as I'm done with here because me and her, see, talking all this, man. Girl, I can't even look. I can't even, that whole, I can't, there is no drop it like it hot. We can't even ease it, ease it down like it's lukewarm right now. we just just standing in one spot. That's where we are.
Well, that's okay. Look, your fingers is working, so we okay with that.
That's about it at this point.
So I wanted to open it up to anybody in the audience if they had any specific question they wanted to ask Sheryl, if while we have her here. So if you guys got any questions, write them in the comments for us. Anything I might have missed. I always try to get the goods for you guys, but I was really trying to be good, but I do get excited sometimes. I'm sorry about that. So it helps when you got a team of people to keep you grounded. Like, shut up. No. I need the bong button over here. Bong.
Like the mute button. Whoop,
right. The boop, bleep, 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 bleep. Right. So if anybody has any questions, and if you don't, we're gonna close out. And Sheryl, thank you again. Like I said, you did the dang thing on this book here. And let me tell you, I tried to find
some loopholes. I'm like, close them up.
But you did have me all in my feelings.
And that's good. And that's what I wanted. I wanted the journey to be emotional. So I don't know. Look, I already told Shay I'm gonna need a poll. Y'all know I need a poll.
Okay.
So we don't have all these funds. I really want to go. Absolutely. She know I always want to go. I'm just like, that money thing, comes into play here. So
yeah. Well, I think the poll might be a little bit out, but there's other stuff.
I'm just saying. Something.
Right. Okay, Sharon, make sure you.
And if y'all have read it, if y'all would just help a sister out and leave a review, that would be amazing. Kick her off.
Get her out. But just on the side note too, Raw is open for.
And I do want to go. She knows.
Yes, so it's going to be in Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah,
2026 October, the end of October, beginning of November.
Is it cold there in Illinois? Because I don't play with snow. Let me just be real and stop y'all right there.
Okay, it's
the
Midwest, but usually October is pretty good. I mean, it's gonna be. It may be cool, but I don't know. I don't know if the snow.
Yeah, because y'all know I don't play with snow. We a Cali girl. We don't do that snow thing.
California girl.
Y'all know we playing with no snow. She does. She's really excited. She's so excited that she hops into your text messages, to your inboxes, and to your thing, and on a phone call.
Right, because I be wanting to know. Look, I'm a viable book buddy, what I call. So I'm gonna always get the goods for this. But I do love a story, and I dive into it. So wherever the town is, I'm living there. Yeah. Whoever the people are, I'm taking over their body because I'm feeling what they feel. Oh, look, wait.
So I have a quote. The phone. She's stupid. I can't with her. See,
well, I think, okay, Sheryl. So I think you got some decisions you got to make because they look like they had already been made.
Hey, Martha, what's up, sis?
Hey, Martha. Oh my God!
Global warming, you know.
Oh wait,
that's what I'm talking about. It could.
But that is true. And if I snow in California, you might have to come to my town for refuge.
No, we just keep getting hot because it's like we're at 100 degrees still almost. We gonna be coming in here with like 4 or 5 days in a row of 100 degrees in September.
Oh my God!
We didn't even have this much in July. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Sheryl, we do thank you so much. And again, we congratulating you on all of your success, 42 books and still going. That is no easy feat. I just wanted to say again, Mara is into the world of
Myra. Let's
writing.
Go, Myra.
So congratulations.
Stuff out there, girl. Let's go.
And where can people find you? If you have a newsletter where they can stay in touch with you, let us know that. Or wherever else they can stay connected.
newsletter from my website. I promise y'all don't get them that often. Yeah, I need to get better, but until life straightens out, here we are. And so you can do it from my website, which is www.sheryllister.com. And you can find me on Facebook, author Sheryl Lister, or Instagram, and Threads is just at Sheryl Lister.
Okay, so guys, you go and sign up for the newsletter, just so you can stay connected. And if you are on social media and you know how to navigate it well, check her out on one of those other platforms. For me, I can be reached on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube, at Midnight Ace Book Bar. My website is www.midnightace.bookbar. Thank you all so much for joining us. Make sure
Thank
you
you for
subscribe
coming.
to both of our platforms so that you do not miss anything that's going on with Cheryl Lister. And for me, if you like these kind of shows, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube or Facebook so that you won't miss a thing. We thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time with the next release, guys. All right, thank you for joining us. We'll have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Let me close us out here. This is always a treat for me.